Well, happy spooky October. It is October 30th, 2025, and I'm your host, managing broker with the Seattle real estate team, Dan Edwards, with my co-host here, Tucker Maxwell of Guild Mortgage. Welcome back, Tucker. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so since we're on the theme of Halloween, we might as well ask, what's your costume? What do you got set up for tomorrow night?
I think I'm going to rock a skeleton onesie.
Nice. That sounds like you're pulling it out of the closet. I don't think you went out and got anything new. Is that
That
correct?
is true. It was a toss-up between Ted Lasso or the skeleton, but both pulling them from the past years.
Yeah, no original. I think you maybe might have phoned it in a little bit. Now, are you guys going out, or are you gonna be handing out candy?
We're going to hand out candy.
Okay, yeah. So, for me, I kind of went the lazy route too, and ended up getting a yellow T-shirt with an M on it.
There you go. So you're a yellow M&M.
Yellow M&M. Yep.
I had this idea of just printing a shirt that just said like Air 404 costume not found or something like that.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah. You could be a AWS, outing.
System failure.
System failure. Yeah, that'd be great. Have you seen that logo, the AWS, where it's like the sad face versus this funny face?
Right.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we got a few things to talk about, and I thought we would kind of kick off with the news of the week, which is actually, I don't even know. You're going to break it here. Did something happen with the feds this week?
Correct. Yep. So it's Fed week. So that means that the Federal Open Market Committee, all the chair folks from each of the Federal Reserves around the country meet and decide what to do with the federal funds rate, which, as we've talked about, is the rate at which banks borrow from one another. So let's clear that up right away, that the Fed does not control mortgage rates. But they did, in fact, cut the federal funds rate by 0.25%, so 0.25% yesterday.
And how did the stock market react to that?
Well, not favorably, but it wasn't necessarily tied to the decision to cut rates by 0.25%. It was really Powell's comments after they do a debrief, and he addresses the press, and was very guarded with future cuts. And that's really what we were looking for, is what's the future? Because this cut was baked in. It was all but guaranteed 60 to 90 days ago with the inflation and jobs data that we had. There was sufficient data to say they for sure will cut rates. So that's why you saw interest rates and in consumer product rates drop, in these last few months of the summer. But what Powell said after the fact was, he said a cut in December is all but guaranteed. And he further commented on the fact that we have a government shutdown, which is causing a lack of data. So they're not getting true inflation data or true jobs data, even though the Fed does employ a lot of economists and they're doing their own things. They're kind of operating in the dark. So he said, hey, future cuts are kind of going to be tabled until we start to get economic data back in. And so the markets reacted less favorably to that than we had hoped.
Gotcha. So essentially, because of the government shutdown, the November Fed report may not do anything. Let's use a kind of a crystal ball a little bit in this. Are we harmed that much from it? And do you think that the economy was going in the direction that would cause us to need another cut?
That's a great question. And I think it depends on, what aisle you sit on and so forth. It's a balancing act, and it's a really sensitive balancing act for them. It's not just mortgage rates. We'd love it if we could just say, hey, can you just carve out this one sector and make housing more affordable by lowering mortgage rates? It has a lot of other impacts. And so I think from an inventory standpoint, I like where we're at. I like the fact that buyers have negotiations. I like that sellers have to really price accurately. They can't just, throw a price tag on it and get it today. And so I think having rates where they're at creates a balanced market, which I support.
Gotcha. So essentially, we feel pretty good about it. We're teetering on the high fives, right, for mortgage rates.
Absolutely. Yeah. This early in the week on Tuesday, we locked in multiple people at 6% or 5.99. With the advice we gave people on Monday, Tuesday was if the interest rate is there, lock, because we had a pretty good idea that these were going to be the comments. We knew that they were going to cut rates, but we knew if he said anything to the effect of no future cuts, we were going to get a bounce back up in rates. And that's what we got. Is the Fed cut rates by 0.25%, mortgage rates increased by 0.25%.
Gotcha. Okay. So then by most reasonable assessments, this is a pretty good time to buy. Yeah.
I believe so. I think, if you roll back the clock, we were, just waiting for the opportunity to have any leverage, do an inspection. That was something that for a couple of years, it wasn't even on the table. So, you have time to sleep on it. It's not, most homes aren't going to sell first day. So schedule your showing when you can. Have time to do an inspection and then ask for things. If you want seller credits or you want some cosmetic fixes, we have the opportunity now to really vet a home and make sure we're making a great decision. And I think that's an excellent place for buyers to be, even if we don't love the no rate.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Okay, great. Well, what else do you want to talk about?
Talk to me about inventory, I presume inventory is starting to tail off because of the holidays and the winter coming up, but are we seeing what's happening with listings?
Yeah. So here's what I would say for buyers. And when it comes to, I totally agree with what you said about sellers needing to really be very thoughtful about their price. And I think that we're kind of heading into a time of uncertainty, especially here in the Northwest, where there's been announcements about Microsoft cutting jobs and Amazon cutting jobs and cutting the executive level jobs, which serve a lot of the East Side, right?
Yep.
As far as where they live. So I think that there's probably going to be a little bit more of an influx in inventory this year than there was maybe last year and the year before. And the reasons are different, right? Last year, those sales would have been just relocation for business. This year, it's actually going to be more because they're out of a job and they've got to save money, and so maybe they're moving into the rental world. So I think rental rates are going to continue to go up,
Yep.
and then inventory will go up, which makes it a pretty good opportunity for qualified buyers. And now you're getting the best interest rate that you will have seen in 18, maybe 20 months.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, the best interest rates you'd seen. And there's quite a few buyers that aren't going to be making a move. They've got this idea that if they wait in the future, that it's going to be better.
Yep.
And I actually have a report that I reviewed, what are the benefits? And I'm not going to lie, that I didn't do this, but a friend of mine did this with AI, and they dug in and they said, hey, let's look at the past, second and third quarters and fourth quarters, and what would it benefit me to wait until quarter one? And based on the East Side median home price, that essentially historically waiting until quarter one means paying about 3 to 8% more for the same home.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's based on historical patterns, because we see a spike in buyers and buyer offers then. So, why not buy at a discount? Black Friday's coming up. This is it. This is a Black Friday. So number one, the first thing to think about is, with less competition, less buyers out there, you've got more leverage. And you already alluded to that, and asking for seller concessions, having an inspection, maybe having a new furnace installed prior to you moving in. All of those things are a real benefit to being out there and serious about buying in this season. The number 2 point, I would say, especially in the Northwest, is when you're looking at homes into wintertime, you're not getting their best foot forward. And I know that's an argument for why a seller may not. But again, we just talked about there may be reasons that they have to sell. So since there's reasons they have to sell, you get a chance to see what it's like after 3 straight days of rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Trees
with no leaves.
Yeah, do the crawl space fill up? Yeah, are there leaves all over the backyard that you're going to have to rake every year? That the fall kind of wet, moist raking of leaves, which I did 2 nights ago. That was fun. Yeah. You're also going to see, how the sunlight plays, or lack of sunlight plays in a home. So I think that's a really good, good clear picture. And then finally, the truth is you get kind of faster closings, and in some cases they're move-in ready because you're getting more incentives. So sellers are prepping it even better, because a yard this time of year may have a lot of stuff falling. If they're going on the market, they're going to go out and clean it all up nicely and all that. So next spring, it's going to look great. And then that faster closing. Look, most people don't want to be inconvenienced the last week in November and the last week of December. So they're going to do everything they can to quickly close so that they can get on with their lives and move on. So those are some great incentives and reasons why being active as a buyer makes a lot of sense. And I've been doing a little more work, Tucker. I kind of want to tell you about this. Is I started to dig into some of the markets like Kirkland and Bellevue, and start to look for like a hot buy list. And what I did is I kind of took the descriptions of the property, and then I took AI and I took the median home price and I started to plug it in and I compared it against that. And look, anybody can do this. But the next phase of that is actually digging a little bit deeper into the intangibles, the things that AI can't see. And I've come up with lists for across the East Side. So if there are buyers out there that are paying attention to this, this video and they want a list, they can send me an email. They can shoot me a text message, 425-276-7008, and get a hot list of properties that are currently on the market that are actually a good value. And it's a comparison of finish, move-in readiness, and price per square foot plus the amenities around it. So it's like a whole little thing, and it's curated every week. So I'm happy to kind of update the freshest list if you're looking for that. So a hot buy list. And Tucker's got the great rates. Where else would you want to go? I mean, let's be frank.
Exactly. The one thing I'll add to that, Dan, is, buying now pushes your payment out into next year. So if you wanted to buy now and not have a payment during the holidays, like those are the conversations we're having right now, is like your first payment won't be due until around tax, refund time. So you can really get strategic around buying now and pushing that payment out. And get through the holidays without a new payment, kind of recoup some of those down payment funds, get through the holidays, and worry about a mortgage payment in 2026.
Heck, I'll throw in a string of lights for you.
There you go. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, so we do this at the end of each of these podcasts. Is we're Pacific Northwest guys. So what are you up to this weekend? What are you doing?
Yep. So we've gone indoor. So I am playing golf, believe it or not, but we're going to hit the TrackMan. We're going to do indoor, golf. We're going to hit the simulator.
Which one?
Fairwood.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that on Saturday, and then we have a Halloween gathering. We're calling it an autumn party so that we don't have to dress up, but we're gonna have a little autumn family get together Saturday afternoon as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, there's no Husky football this weekend. They've got a second bye, and the Seahawks don't play until Sunday night. So I am actually going to be installing a new split rail fence.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So
I actually and we haven't caught up on this. I just moved back into my house after a 3-month remodel. So that's been really exciting to get back into my house and feel like it's me again. So
you were supposed to show me some pictures of that, I thought.
No, I'll send you some before and after pictures. It turned out beautifully. We probably kind of overdid it. We would have should have consulted with you in terms of finishes and stuff, but we plan to be there long term. But that's the other thing right now is, it's a great time to remodel. Contractors have slowed down a little bit. And so they're not helping all these homes get ready for sale. So if you have projects in your home, now's a good time to kind of take care of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I will add a good time if you're looking for a flip property, the timing would be perfect to start right around November, December. So, I think that's pretty great. And have a great weekend. Fun time handing out, candy. And then, we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Tucker.
There you go.